Hello, everyone. The editorial board that meets here in my garage on a regular basis and consists of me, myself, and I have decided to leap into the political fray and make an actual endorsement. You know, I don't know a thing about Steve Bradley, the Cascade dentist running as the Republican candidate for Iowa House District 58 this November. I'm sure he's a very nice person, but politics can make even nice people just a bit kooky. And that was my thought when I saw Steve's recent TV ad calling his opponent Andy McKean, dangerous. My wife and I both laughed out loud at the end of that commercial. After all, Andy, dangerous. Steve must be confused, because the Andy McKean I know isn't a threat to anyone, much less the constituents he has represented so well through the years. He has always had their best interests at heart, a rare thing in a day and age when loyalty to the political team you're on trumps all else. Andy comes from a family dedicated to public service. His great-grandfather, John McKean, spent a lifetime as a public servant and was a major force in getting the penitentiary established at Anamosa, the place that I worked for 3 decades. Andy's career has mirrored that of his ancestor. Andy practiced law in Jones County for many years. He was first elected to the state legislature in 1979 and served 7 terms before winning a Senate seat, where he served for another 10 years. He served as a Jones County supervisor for nearly a decade before deciding to run for the House again in 2016. And in fact, he was reelected again in 2018 and remains serving at this time. This dangerous fellow is often seen around the streets of Anamosa and other cities in the district, patiently listening as a constituent bends his ear about one issue or another. In fact, his approachability is legendary. This dangerous fellow is fond of music, can play guitar and keyboard, and donates his time and musical talents whenever a local cause or event needs him. This dangerous fellow has been married to Connie for nearly 40 years, is a devoted grandfather, and engages in other dangerous pursuits such as reading, gardening, and calling square dances. I mean, honestly, how can anyone who calls square dances be branded as dangerous? Come on, Mr. Bradley. That dog just don't hunt. But what I respect most about Andy is his principled stand on issues. I don't always agree with his positions, but I am always confident he arrived at them only after careful study, consideration of impact on his constituents, and his conscience. In fact, I was so confident in this man that I always voted for him, even though we weren't always in the same political party. But to me, the pinnacle of Andy's long and illustrious career was in April 2019, when he risked everything to switch party affiliation to the Democratic side, largely due to his dissatisfaction with the direction of the GOP and how it was heading under President Trump. The backlash was swift, predictable, and severe. It took incredible political courage and personal courage as well to make such a step, but for Andy, there was no other real choice. His conscience was his guide. As he said at the time, after listing the president's many shortcomings, some would excuse this behavior, claiming Trump is just telling it like it is, and that this is the new normal. But if this is the new normal, I want no part of it. But that's just Andy. I can think of a lot of words to describe this man: principled, brave, approachable, kind, loyal, hardworking, dedicated, but certainly not dangerous. The legislature and the citizens of District 58 have something very special in Andy McKean, one of those rare politicians who is motivated by all the right things for the right reasons. You remember the old Jimmy Stewart movie, Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? We look at that with nostalgia, wishing that such a principled fellow existed in this day of polarized politics. Although Mr. Smith may have been fictional, I think his modern-day counterpart is quite real and is right here, living amongst us. Maybe we can't send Mr. Smith to Washington, but we can certainly send Mr. McKean back to Des Moines. And if we have a lick of sense, we will. Thank you.